Well, hello again, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, cardboard crawlers of all nations. Hope you're doing fine on this rainy March afternoon here in Southern Pines. Maybe it's sunny where you are, and at least the rain stopped, and I got out and got on the wet rocks. I just wanted to do a little bit of another tire test with the Grizzly Works Gladiator recovery vehicle here with the 64 millimeter Injora Chirac tires with those yellow silicone inserts in it. I just kind of wanted to see, I haven't driven it since we did our first test, and I just wanted to come out here and check out this. I love this little, it's kind of a reverse dig. I just have the rear ends pressed against a rock, and I just kind of was out of position there. Did a little reverse dig. Got them tires a little muddy. And yeah, I just was wanting to check traction in the wet. So see how it goes. I still think that you get a little bit of bounce out of these. I could maybe soften the spring rate. Oil shocks would definitely help. So anybody with some 48 millimeter oil shocks they want to send me to test, that's the length of shock I run in this rig. It's 48. I find the 48s work really good in the Gladiator chassis. I do have some 36 millimeter Injora oil shocks, but I'm not going to put them on this rig. At least not yet. They may go on something else. I have another, you may have seen a short that I made, I think today as well, that has another interesting clear body, and that's a Gladiator length chassis. And what I've done is I've bobbed and doved the rear of the rig and cut the fenders nice and tight up front. Really gave it some clearance, and that's the old blue FJ chassis. I broke the A pillar and B pillars in that rig, and I just don't feel like gluing it back together. I was kind of tired of running that as a hard body. I was looking for something to like do a class 2 comp rig with, and I had a Gladiator body sitting around, so I just went to trimming on it and trimmed all the bed out of it, and then trimmed the tailgate off of it, but left enough room to put it back on. So I basically trimmed the lights out of it, so 4, 5, 6 millimeters out of the bed, and doved it in a little bit. And it's not quite finished. I need to get it all painted up, and then I can glue it back together. It's just kind of taped together right now, but I think the lines are going to come out really good, and the approach and departure angles are going to be really neat on that rig. I've already run it, and it is a really nice driving rig. Like, I like the way that it drives, and not having a hard body on that just changes the way it drives completely. I also moved the battery tray forward a little bit, which on those Maz version 2 chassis, they slide. You just loosen 2 screws or 4 screws, and they slide forward. So I slid that forward and got the battery tucked up a little bit tighter. I use a little micro battery in it, but it does have a mini FuriTech mini Komodo in it, not a micro Komodo. So that makes it a little bit heavy in the front, but it's the right heavy. So anyway, I know that's not the rig I'm running right now, but that's the rig I'm talking about. It's fun. I'm really looking forward to finishing that build. It's basically just a body and a little bit of adjustment on the chassis. And this rig's running good too in the rain. I really like how much tire compression you get with these Injora, the silicone inserts. They work really nicely. They work nicely in the rain. This is always a tough spot if you don't get it just right. If you don't get your wheel into that crack and kind of come up at a completely different angle, you usually have to bust out the winch. So that's what we do. We do a little self-recovery with the winch on this rig right here. and we hooked up to that little rock down there. If you can see that thin winch line that I have there, that running that Dyneema winch line. Woo! Shout out to Amstel Blue Dyneema. So bam, and then a little self-recovery. The hook comes unhooked, bam, bam, and we're ready to go. And then I get just kind of crossed up. This is a weird crossover. I should have been a little bit closer to the camera, and you can climb up a little easier, and it just didn't want to go here, so I just kind of slip my way down the rocks. Do a reverse and slip, and then reverse and slip. And the line's down there past that rock that's out in front of me anyway. I need to get on the opposite side of that anyway, so kind of worked out for the best that I was right there. And there it is, an old blue dog. Like I said, not raining outside, just water dripping out of the trees right now, and the ground's soaking wet, so Blue came out to just enjoy the day with us, and he's spotting something there. Something is blowing around behind me. But you got to shout out to Brandon over at Grizzly Works RC. Check him out on Etsy. This thing runs the LCG kit, the rear bumper, the sliders for the Gladiator that he makes. I can't really say enough about the LCG kits that he makes. They're super awesome. And for the price, if you're just looking for an inexpensive way to get your battery moved forward, and a really clean way, like the way that it mounts into a stock frame. So if you got some custom, the Gladiator, the Grizzly Works chassis kit's not for you. But if you're running stock rails on anything, whether it's a C10 length, a JLU, a Deadbolt, or a Gladiator, or any of the new trucks, I suggest you get a Grizzly Works kit. I mean, I think get the old version for $11. Maybe he's out of those, but the new version's $14 or $15. And goodness sakes alive, like, it is just such a game changer. That's what I used to have in the yellow JLU. It's what my nephews run in their C10s. I run it in my C10. This is a full Gladiator Grizzly Works build right here. It had as many parts as I could have on it. I was running the front bumper for a while, but I ended up wanting something with a different fair lead in it, different position, and so this is what I'm running now. But I do run the rear, the sliders. The sliders make the body tuck in there really nice, so I really love it. Like I said, get yourself one. Check it out on Etsy, Grizzly Works RC. And other than that, this rig is pretty dialed in. I might end up putting a full-size Komodo in it, which is going to make it a little bit heavier than it already is, but it's going to change the power to weight ratio quite a bit. This is kind of a new section of rocks. These are kind of unfinished. Once I dropped in here and was doing all that backup just now in the reverse to get all switched around and pushed into position where I needed to be. All these rocks are new. You can see the pile of bricks. You can see the bucket and everything kind of in the distance right there. This is just a work in progress section, and I just kind of moved some rocks around while I was here and kind of like, oh, okay, this works. And I like what I've done here. Like right after this, I dropped down off of the main set of rocks here, kind of at the end of the line. And I just do a U-turn, and I kind of made this V-rock section. There's two lines right next to each other. You come out, and then you get turned around, and you come back right here. So I made this nice V-crack. I don't know if a smaller rig will make it up and into this. It's going to have some oomph. So, there might be some new rocks going into this section, but I kind of liked the way it looked. And like I said, out here trying to check new lines and test tires, you want to move some things around and get, rocks put into position where they might have a finality. So, like I said, through that little V-crack and then back across towards the working pile. This is a rock pile that has a number of different lines. You can go hard right, mid right, and then you go left here, and it just kind of shoots us back straight across the main amphitheater area back towards the stump. And you got another inbound section right there. I like the heavy V rocks. And get you up and over and through. And Blue Dog's still over there just chilling. Just a beautiful boy. Having him a day. He's back inside taking a... Well, he's not got his eyes closed right now, but he's chilling right over here too, near me. So, remember, if you like this content, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm putting out new content. I've kind of been sporadic lately. I was putting it out all the time for you guys, and hopefully I can get back in the habit of doing more uploads for you. Let me know if you enjoy the content. If you're looking for something else, if you're a manufacturer and you want to send some parts my way, my email's in my about section. Don't hesitate to reach out. And if you haven't built one of these trucks, get out there and do it. The Ascent 18 looks like a really good rig, starter rig for people to go with. It's $99. You are going to need some upgrades for that. Red Cat has made upgrades. Obviously, that's where they're going to make their money. So, you know, don't think that at $99 you're just going to have a finished rig. You are going to have to put another probably $50 into it to make it what you want. I've seen some really good videos out there about it. Looks interesting. It's not going to be much bigger than this Gladiator when it's all done and said. These SCX 24 Gladiators are pretty good sized. And you know, you can get an SCX 24. There's tons of aftermarket. Look at that tire squish right in there. It looks so good. Great compression out of these Injora inserts. And you know, there's so much aftermarket care out there that you can just find. You know, there's a million parts for these trucks and 7,500 different manufacturers. So, you know, it's fun to get into, and it's reasonably priced until you get your 4th or 5th one, and then you're like, man, I think I should have got a 10th scale. But good times. Blue moved his way back around towards the house. He knows where his bread is buttered, and I hope you all have a great afternoon. As always, Cardboard Crawlers out.